Hey everyone, my name is Tristan from Plastic on Plastics, the YouTube channel where we talk about all things plastic. Today we're talking about a product category, and that's plastic bottles. Glass bottles, metal bottles, disposable bottles. What is the best? Generally, you can't go wrong with using a reusable bottle. Unlike reusable bags, where you're using them once a week to go grocery shopping, people generally use a bottle multiple times a day, and therefore it's a lot easier to reach that quota to offset the carbon needed to make a more durable bottle. So first, let's talk about just raw materials: steel, aluminum, glass, plastic. So what is the carbon dioxide output of the manufacturing process in these materials? So for this example, if you're buying a bottle, it doesn't really matter which reusable bottle you buy. Steel and aluminum roughly emit 2 to 4 kilograms of carbon dioxide per kilogram produced. Glass is about 2 kilograms of carbon dioxide. Plastic is between 2 and 6. But these numbers vary like on every country, on every method. And there's also other things to consider. For example, aluminum is very chemical heavy to produce. So that's one thing to note. That's poor for the environment, right? So it's hard to break down which material is the best in manufacturing, but for all intents and purposes, for the size of your bottle being relatively small, it doesn't really matter. That being said, the exception is obviously these bottles here. These bottles are blow molded and use extremely thin wall plastic, PET plastic. PET plastic is one of the most recycled plastic. So a lot of these bottles are made from recycled materials. And also because they are blow molded, they can be produced a lot easier than a bottle like this, for example. So these, for a one-time use, are obviously still better than these guys here. But how much better are we talking? Well, for all intents and purposes, let's say each material roughly emits 3 kilograms of CO2 for 1 kilogram produced. So this guy here, I think is made from, I think it's aluminum. This one is plastic, right? So this guy here weighs 25 grams and this guy here weighs 200 grams. So if we do some basic arithmetic, 1 kilogram of plastic makes 40 bottles here, and 1 kilogram of aluminum makes 5 bottles. So to divide up the numbers, you have to use this guy about 8 times to offset this guy here, okay? But that is just raw material calculation. That's not talking about the complexity of manufacturing and stuff like that. Obviously, this guy with the branding, you know, the plastic going into the aluminum here is going to be a lot harder to manufacture. And therefore, a more realistic number for how many times you have to use a bottle like this to offset this is probably around 50 times. Even so, 50 times is pretty doable for a water bottle. If you're using a bottle like this 2 times a day instead of using a disposable plastic bottle, you have to use it for like a couple weeks, like a month at most, and then you're gonna offset this guy. So unlike our reusable bag example where you have to use an organic cotton bag like 7,000 times to offset the plastic, you only need to use this guy for about a month to offset its plastic disposable counterpart. Does that mean every time you see a cute water bottle online that fits your wardrobe, you should buy it because as long as you use it 50 times, you're offsetting? No, that's not the case. The best bottle for the environment is the one that you already have. So try to avoid buying bottles as much as possible. Think of it more like the opposite way. Every time you buy a new reusable water bottle that you don't need, or every time you get given one or a promotional one, you're using up 50 times more CO2 than it is to make one of these guys here. It is important to keep your bottles clean, use them as long as possible, but the inevitable does happen. This plastic bottle here by Hurley, the top part broke and now it's kind of junk. Now that being said, I can go on Amazon and buy a lid, but I know a lot of people aren't even gonna think that far. They're gonna be like, oh, the top broke, I have to throw it away, right? You know, there's no guarantees. If you go on Amazon, try to measure the diameter here, try to find a cap that fits, there's no guarantee that it will fit. And therefore, sometimes buying a bottle is a requirement. So what is the best bottle to buy? Well, generally, the best bottle to buy is the one that you're gonna use the longest. In terms of material, they use so little material, it doesn't really matter which one you buy. I like drinking out of glass, so I bought this Voss bottle because it was actually the cheapest glass bottle I could find, and funny enough, it came with water in it, and then I reuse this guy here, especially if I'm in the car and it's gonna be hot. I'd rather drink out of glass than plastic, just because it's not gonna leach any chemicals. Even if things are BPA free, what BPA is it's a plastic additive to make things shinier, stronger, and stuff like that. And so when there was those studies that said, BPA gives you cancer, BPA is bad for your health, a lot of the companies kind of altered the BPA molecule, so they still have it in plastic. It's just technically not BPA, but there hasn't been enough studies to say that it has given you cancer. But then that's just because the science isn't caught up with the speed of the chemical engineers. So what I'm trying to say is glass is good and metal is also good, and plastic is okay. There's no real side effects that have been shown with BPA-free bottles, but there could be in the future. The best bottle is something that you like, something that's durable, that's gonna last forever, and something that you can clean. One thing I wanna talk about cleaning is if you don't have one of these, you might wanna get one. It's a water bottle cleaning brush, and it can clean the grooves of your water bottle a lot easier. And the reason why I think one of these is important is because a lot of people will replace their reusable bottle just because they can't get into those little areas, and those areas kind of develop some biofilm and bacteria buildup, right? So they need to throw it away for health reasons. But if you have the right tools for cleaning, then you can keep your reusable bottle a lot longer. Water bottles that are the easiest to clean generally come off in 3 different parts or multiple different parts, so you can clean all the grooves easily. One water bottle company that I found on the internet that looked like they have a really great bottle is called Ocean Bottle, and you can kind of separate it all so you can really clean it, and therefore you can use the bottle as long as possible. So I hope you found this video kind of informative, if not maybe just slightly entertaining, and you can use this information for your next water bottle purchase. Take care.